Welcome to the Luxe Glossary, where I break down spiritual terms you might hear all the time but not fully understand through stories from my life. I'm Dawn M. Rivers of DMR Coaching and Consulting, where I created the Luxe Identity Spiral, the Spiral Sovereign, and the Path to the Awakened Woman framework. This is for women in their midlife who are tired of the hustle, the grind. They're looking back and they said, I've done all the things. I've accomplished the things, and now I want a life of ease and overflow. I want to live abundantly. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. The first term is embodiment. When I was 24, I thought I wanted to be an English teacher. And I really didn't know, but I thought, this would be a good path. I was already 3 colleges in my 6th year, still trying to figure it out. I was a single mother, and I had to take these classes in order to go from the arts and science school to the College of Education. I had a great teacher. I think the class was like young adult literature. And she assigned about 12 different young adult books that we had to read. I told her, I'm a single mother. I'm on a budget. I can't buy all these books. She said, go to the free library down the street. And I said, okay. I really hadn't been to the library in a long time, but I thought, okay, I'll go. Took my daughter. Everything changed. And kind of at the same time, I also had to figure out a minor. If you're going to be in the College of Education at this time in the 1990s, you had to figure out a minor as well. So I wasn't athletic. So PE, dribbling and running at the same time would not be my minor. Music, I had just learned to play a couple chords on the guitar. I couldn't read music. So library media was a third choice. I said, okay, this kind of all goes together. So I walk into this library, look around, get a library card. And I said, wait, I can borrow toys, books, videos, puzzles for free? I couldn't believe it. Everything started to change. And then when I walked into the library school and took my first library media class, everything came together. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I need to share this with other people. Other people need to know you can make all kind of choices, decisions based on free information in the library. I switched my major and got my English degree, applied for the School of Library and Information Science. 2 weeks after I graduated, I started my graduate program. I fully embodied the library. Have you ever had that feeling? This, oh wow, or holy yeet. It's not just a good idea. It's like the whole truth of who you are. And at that time, I realized it was the truth of who I was. I used the library to learn how to cook, to fix my car, to entertain my daughter, to expand my knowledge, all from the library. There was a full body yes when I made that decision. If you're disconnected and doubting, you're not broken, you're just out of sync. I was out of sync. When this teacher came into my life and she told me about the public library, when I signed up for library media classes, everything aligned. Embodiment is about big truth, but what about those small signals that your body sends you every single day? That's when somatic starts to come in. Term number 2, somatic. The yoga teacher would say, breathe into your hips, breathe deeply into your hips. And I used to think, what does that mean? What is she talking about? I don't understand. Have you felt like that when you've taken a yoga class and they're just like, breathe into your hips? And I'm thinking, my breath is up here, my hips are down there. I couldn't breathe into my hips. But then I got it because I would go to yoga class. This was so many years ago, maybe 15, almost 20 years ago. And I would take a yoga class. Once we moved into hip openers, I would cry, sob, like fully body, like giving off this deep guttural sadness. Many years later, one of my favorite yoga teachers, Christina Lamarca, was hosting a workshop on the chakras. I had heard about it. I wasn't sure what it was. And as she was teaching about the different chakras down the middle of the body, the main 7, and she talked about the hips and how the hips hold the story. They hold the story of sadness, of grief, but they also hold rebirth and creation. And I got it. Because my hips used to ache, my back would ache, I had headaches. My body was trying to tell me, signal to me. That's when I realized when I was in these hip opening postures and my body would shake and I would cry and sob, I was releasing. Because when your chakras are out of balance or not in alignment, it tries to tell you through your body some way, somehow. And my body knew what was going on. When I realized this, I made the connection from, these classes I took in my beginning practice where I cried and yoga was my sanctuary. This is where I felt comfortable to release. This was a somatic experience. Ever ignored a gut feeling and regretted it? Your body knows before it catches up to your mind. That's what I was experiencing. We've been taught to override our body's wisdom. Somatic is body-based awareness. Your nervous system is intelligence. It could be butterflies, like that fluttering in your stomach, right? It could be excitement or nervousness. Pay attention to it. The tension in your shoulders or your jaw clenching or your chest constricting. Stress, something is off. Gut feeling when you know that you know that you know it's a hell yes or uh-oh or no, I'm not doing that. That's your intuition. Something is off. None of this is woo-woo. This is not woo-woo. This is your nervous system processing information faster than your thinking brain. The body knows. It's your body's compass. It's taking you on your North Star. You need to listen to it. So how do we put this into practice? Becoming present. Pause, breathe, and notice. So how do you use this now? I want you to take some time today to do that. Reflect. Listen. What is your body telling you right now? It's probably telling you something. Do you have tension? Is your eye twitching? Are your fingers clenched in a ball? Embodiment equals living your full truth. Somatic equals listening to your body's signals. They work together. Small somatic signals guide you towards embodied living. In the next video, we're talking about alignment. Because once you hear your body's signals, you need to know how to actually line up with what it's telling you. Want to go deeper? Book a clarity call. Make sure you subscribe to hear the next term. And drop a comment below about your full body yes.